That was a quick 8 seconds. I barely got my drink in. Welcome to welcome to a new episode of Talking the Gridiron. New season, new whole bunch of stuff, and the dogs are already going crazy. If you can't hear them, I apologize in advance. I don't know why you think they'd be used to my voice by now, but we're going to talk all kinds of stuff from the Seattle Seahawks to the ridiculous contract that Kirk Cousins got today. Ridiculous. To the Atlanta Falcons, New Jersey's debate which one is better, Tennessee or Atlanta, when it comes to new uniforms, NFL draft stuff, and a whole bunch more. My name is Brandon. That's Dylan on that side. This is Variety Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. Dylan, let's start. I want to start because I know this is, to me, I think this is the most ridiculous contract for a quarterback. At his age, 5 years, $172 million with $11 million guaranteed. Kirk Cousins signs officially with the Las Vegas Raiders today. What's your initial thoughts on this? I gave you mine. I think this is ridiculous.
All right, so this is what I saw. So Adam Schefter posted this a couple hours ago. Yeah. So it's a 5-year, $172 million deal with the Raiders. In reality, it's only a 1-year, fully guaranteed $20 million deal that also contains a club option for 2 years at $80 million. The Falcons pay Cousins $8.7 million this season. The Raiders another $1.3 million, and Las Vegas also has agreed to pay him a fully guaranteed $10 million roster bonus on the third day of the 2027 new league year. I think that Kirk Cousins, I think his manager should be in the Hall of Fame. Because for anyone who doesn't know, right? I don't even know if you know this, right? This is Kirk Cousins. It's another mark for him, but this is his 11th straight NFL season with a fully guaranteed contract. 11 NFL seasons in a row where a contract for him has been fully guaranteed. He's been fully paid. Everything is fully guaranteed the moment he signs the dotted line. 11 straight years. 11.
I think it's ridiculous.
I mean, it was a good pickup for the Raiders. They're going to get Mendoza. I think Kirk Cousins is probably a pretty good teacher. I mean, you got to keep in mind, before he went to Atlanta, this was a guy that he was balling out big time.
I get why they do it, but five.
It's just a lot of money. I mean, I understand. I mean, they really only gave him $20 million, and it's a club option for 2 years at $80 million. I'm sure they'll probably take it, but. I mean, it's a lot of money to pay a guy that possibly might not play. I mean, I guess it all depends on how Mendoza does, So, I mean, it just
right.
Just have to wait and see. I'm sure Mendoza will probably be pretty good, but we've seen guys that have been good that they're just full busts. So, I mean, I guess if I a good backup, I mean, if I was going to choose a good backup, I mean, Kirk Cousins is a pretty solid guy to sit on the bench and come in and win you a game if you need him to.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of his 5 years, obviously you don't expect him to play the full 5 years. I don't see it. He'd be 42 or 41, 42.
I mean, if he's riding the bench and you're going to keep paying me, I mean, I'd ride the bench. I'd ride the bench versus the money.
Yeah.
Especially if if Mendoza does turn out to be like this superstar.
Yeah.
Like you barely got to almost like a Mahomes-esque type of deal. I forgot who the backup quarterback was. He came from Mizzou for a long time ago.
For
when Patrick was when he was in his full prime.
Oh, Chase Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, how many times did that guy have to come in and play?
That's true.
Like never. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't a whole lot, and he got paid, a handful of $1 million every year to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
And when he came in, he won most of the games he came in and played.
That's true.
But
I don't know. I was a little flabbergasted to see that but then again, it is the Raiders. Why should we be surprised at the same time?
I mean, I can see why they got him. Like I said, I mean, it's a lot of money to give the dude, right? I mean, even the $20 million for a year. I mean,
that would have been fine though.
Yeah, that's still a lot of money.
Because Mendoza is clearly the guy you're going to draft in the first round with the first pick.
That's still $20 million is still a lot of money for Kirk Cousins. I mean, the Falcons just got Tua for like $1.5 million.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just that's a lot of money. I mean, that's just a lot of money for a dude for, I mean, even just for 1 year.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money to have
A lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would.
I don't think he's washed.
Give him 5 years.
I think
172.
Kirk Cousins is still pretty decent. I don't think he's washed. I think he had a bad year.
Yeah.
I think he had a bad year that first year in Atlanta, and he just got crucified, and then they threw him to the Wolves. And Minnesota probably should have never dropped him anyways. I mean, he was balling out in Minnesota. So
that was probably the first of the downfall was.
I mean, they did it 2 straight times. They got rid of him, and they got rid of Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold won 14 games. So,
in a Super Bowl.
And then they drop him like a sack of potatoes. And what does he do? He wins the Super Bowl this year. So
and then they talk about drafting or signing another quarterback. I've heard Aaron Rodgers get brought up with Minnesota. Yeah. You want him back in the NFC North?
I sure don't. I mean, I think he'll probably stay in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go anywhere. Who knows though? But yeah, that was a bigger the one of the bigger newses today. Was the Las Vegas Raiders signing quarterback Kirk Cousins to a 5-year, $172 million deal. Late this morning, give or take, somewhere around that time, 10 o'clock this morning, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. But let's talk. Let's jump in, change topics here for a second. Kind of wanted to jump into something, I guess, new for us. A little bit more talk. We'll go state of the franchise, and we're of course going to start with your reigning Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. Now, there's a team with a lot of question marks, in my opinion, going into this coming season. You still have Sam Darnold. Can you trust Sam Darnold going forward? Who's really going to be the running back one for this team with Kenneth Walker being allowed to walk out the doors after he basically won you a Super Bowl? And just crazy in my mind. Defensively, I don't see this team changing much. I think they're still going to be really solid. But on the offensive side is where my question is. What's your initial thoughts on Seattle as a whole?
I mean, to let Kenneth Walker walk out was just, I mean, that was absurd. The dude literally won you a Super Bowl, like backpack. Like, you guys could not pass the ball at all. Your defense was, they were barely holding on along with the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Kenneth Walker, I mean, you guys would have lost. I mean, you guys wouldn't have a ring right now. I mean, that man literally said, "Give me the ball. I'll put you on my back, and I'll just carry you down the field all game long for 4 quarters."
Yep.
So what he did. And then you guys have the freaking nerve to just let this dude walk out and be like,
no biggie.
He'll come back. Yeah. I think their plan was to let him walk in free agency and then to work out a new deal, and then he was just going to come back. But obviously whatever you guys offered him was so insulting for a dude who just won you a freaking Super Bowl single-handedly by himself with no help from anybody else.
Yeah, because offensively he was the only thing that did any impact whatsoever.
JSN had some drops. Obviously Sam Darnold struggled quite a bit. I mean, wasn't really turning the ball over a whole lot, but they literally just could not pass the ball. I mean, at all. So,
yeah, because you're not having Zach Charbonnet be your. I mean, I don't see how that would.
He is the Zach Charbonnet is a predicted starter right now for the Seahawks. As running
he has to be. But you're looking at an injured-prone running back.
He is very injury-prone.
Yeah, who hasn't really proved. I mean, in my eyes, hasn't proved to be that guy yet.
I mean, the thing, like, this is what I try to like. Kenneth Walker wasn't really impressive during. He wasn't really impressive during the regular season, right? But that's because they kept. I mean, they realistically split the carries between Chardonnay 60-40, 50-50.
Yeah.
But when when Zach Chardonnay got hurt, Kenneth Walker took over in the playoffs. I mean, his first 3 games, if you talk about it in fantasy point percentage, basically how many he was scoring 26 fantasy points a game.
Yeah.
From the very first game of the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
The dude is he's an RB1 no matter where he goes. So
Kenneth Walker.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
mean, I just can't believe that it's let him do that. And I mean, I understand you want to pay JSN, but I mean, like,
no reason why you couldn't pay both.
Yeah, like you really didn't need to pay him that much right now.
Yeah,
like he's still in his rookie contract. You didn't necessarily have to ramp him up. You could have wasted a franchise tag on him. At some point in time, but he's still in his rookie contract. You didn't really need to throw him that much. I feel like you could have got both. But I mean, they got rid of Kenneth Walker, went to the Chiefs. I freaking hate that. God, I hate that so much. It just makes you want to throw something through a wall.
Yeah.
And then obviously they also lost cornerback Kobe Bryant to the Bears. They lost linebacker Boy Mafe to the Bengals, cornerback Rick Woolen to the Eagles. They lost wide receiver Cody White, Tyler Hall, cornerback. So I mean, they've lost a lot of starters.
I mean,
some notable starters. I mean, it's a linebacker, and two cornerbacks, and your star running back. I mean, you lost 4 starters that played pretty good for you all year long.
It's a defense that only allows 17.2 points per game. It was first in the NFL, and it was. I mean, it carried them to the. I mean, it was a reason why they I wouldn't say rolled through the NFC in the playoffs, but reason why they had so much success in the playoffs and throughout the regular season. Their offense was good, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as their defense.
Their defense is solid, and you let 3 defensive starters go. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's pretty interesting that team wins the Super Bowl and then they go from, this team to one of the most questionable before the season starts.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'll still be. I mean, they still got JSN, Sam Darnold. I mean, he's still going to win probably 10 games at least.
Do you think so?
49ers get healthy. If they stay healthy, they're a real threat. Obviously, the Rams, right? Cardinals will be interesting to see how that rolls around.
No Kyler Murray.
So I mean, there's a lot. There's at least 2 other good teams in that division, right?
The Rams. Solid teams it's here and here. Arizona is down here because as of right now, Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals.
So Murray. I mean, if the other 2 teams are super solid, in that conference, I mean, does 10 games get you in? If there's a bunch of good teams that year, I mean, the Bears, for a while they were running into that problem where they kept falling out of the playoff race, even with 10 wins.
Yeah.
So,
might be an issue.
It's interesting, to see how they kind of treated this offseason already, and it basically just started. So
because you mentioned Kobe Bryant's name. He's a impact secondary piece, 4 interceptions. Part of the top ranked defense. Devin Witherspoon, he's another All-Pro guy as well, and then Ernest Jones is a team leader in tackles with 126 and 5 interceptions. I mean, those guys right there. It's part of the reason why Seattle's defense ranked first in the league. Let me get to my next part or next question. So we're looking at the quarterback thing. So how much do you trust Sam Darnold? Do you think Sam Darnold is the guy still, or do you think he's gonna have a little bit of regression year 2 in Seattle?
I mean, how can he not be trusted? How can he not be trusted?
Yeah.
I mean, he leaves the Jets or whatever, or leaves the 49ers, whatever it was, goes to the Minnesota Vikings, wins 14 games, takes you to the playoffs, you lose, right? You throw him out of the water, you just drop him. Yeah. He goes to his first Seattle, wins 14 plus games.
Yeah.
And then you end up winning a Super Bowl. So he's definitely earned the trust. I don't see how he hasn't.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback. It's weird to say because he's been so awful most of his as the teams that he's been on.
Well,
it's Jets, back up on the 49ers. I mean,
Carolina. But Carolina and the Jets and Carolina at the time were not good football teams.
Yeah, and then you're a backup, in San Francisco. So
Yeah.
I don't see how he can't be trusted. I feel like you got to trust him. He's at least going to win you 10 games. I think
He should.
you basically got the best receiver in football and a top defense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say very trustworthy. He's earned it at this point. I feel like he's definitely earned the trust.
The last 2 seasons, okay. I mean, I could see it. I don't know if I know he's just coming off a Super Bowl victory, but is it going to be the same without having such a star-studded, excuse me, such a very solid defense compared to, what they had, last year compared to what's coming up. So I don't know. We'll see. I would say that they're definitely not rebuilding. They're still going to be contenders. Should be contenders. They should be looked at as contenders. For the upcoming season, they got a lot of talent. Got a lot of older veteran leadership that's been there in the playoffs and stuff now. So yeah, I don't see why they couldn't continue to be a contender for the Super Bowl and next season.
Yeah, if he could just tune down the turnovers a little bit, like the interceptions.
Yep.
Like he'd be. I mean, you got to think this is the same dude who has over 8,300 yards in the last 2 seasons. All right, he has 60 touchdowns and 26 interceptions.
Yeah,
8,000 yards and 60 touchdowns in 2 seasons with 2 different teams.
Pretty good.
I mean, you're throwing 30 a year. It's pretty good for a guy, who's, who everyone said, couldn't hack it, was done, was a bust. So I think he at least wins you 10 games. I think he's at least earned that much trust, at least that much for 10 games. I'm not saying he's going to take you to another Super Bowl. I mean, I didn't think Sam Darnold was going to a Super Bowl this year.
I didn't either. I didn't think they were going to get past San Francisco or LA.
So I'm not saying, he'll win you another Super Bowl, but he's proven that he can.
Yeah.
And I think just based on that, I think he's earned some trust to at least get you to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Where would you rank them as if you're looking at teams going into next year? I mean, obviously they just come off the Super Bowl championship, but is that still where you would put them? Or would you drop them lower?
I think you got to drop. I think you got to drop them. I mean, they can't be number 1 anymore. I mean, Zach Charbonnet's real good if he's healthy, but like you said earlier in the talk, he's very injury prone.
Yes.
Yeah. You lost a handful of starters that were pretty key defensive pieces.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think you still got to have them within like the top 6. I think at least. Mm-hmm. Or top, I would even say top 10. If other people had some other teams that they wanted to throw in front of them, I'd be okay with that. But you can't drop them. To be honest, I don't think you can drop them any lower than 8, in my opinion. They just won a Super Bowl. You really can't do that. But
yeah, I don't know if they go. I don't know if they. I think they're 5. I don't even know if they're out of the top 5.
So it'd be pretty crazy to drop them outside like the top 10. Like that'd be pretty crazy.
That would be a little bit of a hot take, and I don't think anybody would do that right now.
Yeah, I mean, they just won a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, played good.
I'd say 5 at the lowest right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think you have to give them that. You have to, even if you don't want to, you have to.
Yeah, because I mean, there's 2 other teams now. Depending on what happens with Puka.
Mm-hmm.
And his whole situation, which hopefully gets things figured out and taken care of before the season starts, because he's a heck of a football player. But there's obviously some other things going on, so that might change the outlook on the NFC West just a tad.
It could.
I think the 49ers have to be my favorite going into next season is to win the NFC West.
I would like to say that they would be my favorite, but they're just so injury prone. I literally cannot do that.
That's because of the electrical stuff by the field, apparently.
Literally everyone. I mean, George Kittle's been hurt like 4 years in a row. Like everybody gets hurt. Brock Purdy literally has to rely on one dude in Christian McCaffrey. And then, he can't do anything else. The defense gets hurt. They lose 9 guys on defense, and then they're terrible. The Rams got to be my favorite. I think Puka will be back. I saw something either last night or this morning that he's been in rehab for like a little bit now. So it wasn't just like
it's not new news.
Yeah, it wasn't just like recently. I guess it just never got out. Like it just had never been put out there,
which is how it should be.
His lawyer said he had. Or his manager, or agent, or whoever it was, lawyer, whatever, had said he had been in rehab for just a little bit. I really don't know how long, but he's been there. He's getting help or whatever with whatever he's addicted to, whether it's drugs or alcohol or whatever. So I think he'll be back. I mean, if that dude was playing football on drugs, the way he was playing is crazy. So if he's sober, I would imagine he's going to be 100% better.
Yeah.
But I mean, just that team is stacked, man. I mean, you got Kyler Williams. Matthew Stafford is coming off arguably one of his best seasons of his career, if not the best season. I mean, the last handful of years have been great. You got arguably the second best receiver. Some people might put him at number 1 in the NFL. You got Devontae Adams. You got a good tight end. You got a 1-2 punch between Blake Corum and Colin Williams. You got a good offensive line. The defense got upgraded with the cornerbacks. They have a really solid defense now. I would say the Rams would probably have to be my favorite. And I really hate saying that, but
yeah. No, it's fair. That's fair. I'm not against the idea of that really. I think it's fair to fair for that thought. Yeah, I think the Rams could be just as good as anybody in the league, if not the top team in the league. This coming season.
I just saw that comment on the side that says Pat Mahomes or Sam Darnold.
You tell me who you want. Let me. I'm trying to get this picture here before I move on too far. So yeah, I mean, I think Seattle will be fine.
Yeah,
I think they'll be fine. Not too worried. At the end, they figure out if they figure out running backs, rather not they draft somebody or go get somebody in free agency. Still, I don't know who's left free agency when it comes to running backs, but yeah, we'll see. So let's know what you think about the Seahawks. Do you trust Sam Darnold moving forward? Is he the guy to lead the Seattle Seahawks to the Super Bowl championship? They got 2 now. How many the Bears have?
1. We have one. We have one actual Super Bowl win. If you count NFL championships before it was a Super Bowl, we have like over 10, I think. But if you're just talking the Super Bowl era, just 1, bud. All right.
I'm not comparing Oreos to Chips Ahoy, so
yeah. We'll get there, bud. Don't worry. Iceman's going to take us to the promised land, right?
I wouldn't be surprised, actually. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happens. But I also thought Sam Bradford was going to do the same thing for the Rams. Look how it turned out. Not very well. Not very well.
Like 3 times, so he did.
Yeah, that's true. Back-to-back seasons. It was done on purpose. You didn't know that.
Biggest fleece. Dude. Maybe biggest fleece of a team in maybe modern NFL history. That dude literally, you guys literally paid that dude not once but twice for the tears ACL twice, and he got like $150 million out of you guys. And he played like 10 games total, I think, or like 8 games total.
All done on purpose. All done on purpose to move the Rams to LA.
All right. That's a hot take.
It's not a hot take. It's the truth. All right. What team makes the playoffs in 2026 that didn't in 2025? A little tough question.
It is. I think this one's, I mean, it's not really a hot take. But I think if they can stay healthy, if they can keep this dude healthy, right? I think if they can keep Joe Burrow healthy, I think Bengals have a pretty good chance of making making the playoffs. That's the key thing, right? Like you got to keep him healthy. You have a good offense, right? But when the dude's been hurt like every year besides one in his NFL career, and it's been like major injuries, right? Yeah. Like he's not. You saw a couple interviews last year. Like he even said he's not really having fun.
Yeah.
Like I would almost go out and say if he would get hurt this year, like he'll probably be the next Andrew Luck. I could see him retiring.
Yeah.
You know, same thing happened to Andrew Luck. I mean, they couldn't protect him. He got like 6 concussions in a row or 4 or whatever it was, and he was like, "Dude, I can't do it anymore. I'm done."
He's like one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL for a while.
So I would say them definitely. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to make the playoff. I mean,
yeah.
They got Travis Kelce back. He's going to be 100% because he was not healthy at all for most of the season. You can just tell.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes finally had his first major injury. He's healed. I've seen videos of him practicing. The dude looks fantastic. They got Kenneth Walker. Like, if they could, if Rashid Rice can, not get arrested or get a felony charge on him, like, they're going to have a pretty solid football team, right? Like, they have a good offensive line. They have a good defense. You have a good receiver in Rice. You got Travis Kelce. You got
Kenneth Walker.
And even if they could get just like one more secondary wide receiver, because like Xavier Worthy, trash, Hollywood Brown, trash. Like those guys are not very good.
They still have McCole Hardman?
I think so.
Yeah, he's not bad. Or did he go to Buffalo?
If they can get somebody, right?
Yeah.
Just a secondary piece as a wide receiver to help, Rashid Rice.
Yeah.
That's a really good football team. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has made it to the playoffs with less.
Yeah, that's true. They went to the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl with less. Yeah. All right, hold on. I got to stop for a second. I don't know why this screen is – I don't know if it's just a screen or if I'm just realizing this. My forehead is huge, dog. Like, I don't know if it's just the glare coming off the top of my head right here or what, but my forehead looks massive.
I think the Colts have a pretty good chance of making it.
Yeah, sorry.
Especially if Danny Dimes can do what he was doing last year before he tore his Achilles. I mean, they were going to make playoffs if he didn't tear his Achilles.
Oh, they
were one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They're winning basically half their games. I mean, I would say
I'll give you one team.
All right, let's hear it.
Minnesota Vikings.
I don't think so.
They went 9-8 last year, 5-game win streak to finish the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think if they get things together, put things together on offense, if JJ McCarthy is their guy, I think they have a better season than the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, and they get into the playoffs.
They're definitely not having a better season than the Packers, and I hate the Packers. That's just not happening. Jordan Love's going to win you 10 games every year. It's inevitable.
He doesn't have to win. I mean, he can win 11 games. It's better than the Packers season, though.
It's just, I'm sorry. I hate to tell you that. They're not beating the Packers.
I think
50-50.
I think Minnesota gets in. I think Minnesota could be a team that makes the playoffs.
I mean, I'll take that. I could see that. I could see that.
Because I think we only saw one NFC South team this year, right? No, or two. Was it just Carolina that got in? It was just Carolina that got in.
Yeah.
I can't remember who else. I think Minnesota can get in. I don't know if we see 3 NFC West teams get in. Just a thought. I don't know. Let me look here again. Buffalo should make it. New England.
Yeah, I'll give you one. If they can stay healthy, right?
Baltimore.
If they can stay healthy.
It's always a question.
The Giants. Hear me out.
Oh, yeah.
Cam Scatterbo was doing the thing. They lost Malik Neighbors early on in the year, like the second game of the season.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart got banged up pretty quick, right? He's got to learn when to not.
I thought they looked – when all of them were on the field together, I thought they looked awesome.
And you got to think, they were doing that without Malik Neighbors. They lost him like the second game of the year.
Yeah.
So, and Jackson Dart was taking a lot of hits that you can't take. You can take those hits in college. You can't take them in the NFL. Guys are significantly bigger, right? Yep. So if Cam Scatabo and Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors can all stay healthy, that's a pretty scary team, dude. I mean, they were doing some things. And then I think the one that should always make the playoffs, but they just don't. I think the Cowboys probably make it. This coming year.
I could see that.
They got a solid team that is. They either make it to the playoffs and show wild card round or first round, or they just don't make it at all.
Yeah.
So
super fun to do. Get all do all that and lose in the first round. Trust me, I'm as a Blues fan, I understand. It's disappointing.
Very.
We had a chance to make the playoffs this year.
Yep.
And we've lost the last 2 games to 2 teams that we had to beat.
Yep.
Had to beat. Yeah, I could see that. I could also see Washington.
Yeah, with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big prove year for him. Is he a bust, or was it just a one really good year, or is he the real deal?
Yeah. The NFC East has a lot of questions for me.
Oh yeah, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he dislocated his elbow twice.
Yeah,
so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for last year.
And especially when I pull up this mock draft here in a minute that has Jeremiah Love going to the Giants.
That's interesting. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. So yeah, I say Minnesota. Dylan's saying Dallas. Cincinnati, I think, is the easiest one when you look at it.
Chiefs, I think that's. I think that's the easiest. I think the Bengals probably second easiest because with them, it's their offensive line. If it's not healthy, they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they have a good offensive line, they'll make playoffs.
That's fair. I'm gonna pull up this thing really quick. Falcons released this. This should be quick. I don't imagine this being super long. Falcons released new uniforms today. I don't know if you've seen them or not.
Mm-mm.
But here's a look at those bad boys. In just a second. Ka-chow. Falcons released some new uniforms today. Throw it back a little. I wouldn't say it's a throwback, but they're definitely an improvement from what they were.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like them. I think they're better than their old uniforms. They're keeping the throwbacks. The only thing that I wish they would have done is put the stripe that is on the red helmet down the middle of the black helmet. I think that would have made it look so much cooler, so much better.
Yeah, I mean they almost look the same to me. I mean they look nicer,
but there's slight differences, but there's not a whole. What the front door?
They're just mostly updated.
A little more updated. What is going on?
Yeah, they don't look bad.
No, I'll try to find a different.
The throwbacks are my favorite. You got that Michael Vick era.
Yes.
It just that's what reminds me of playing Madden 2004. So that's ball knowledge. Michael Vick,
get that picture.
99 speed. Just do a little QB boot out to the right or left, and then just run it the whole time and just be gone, and no one could ever catch you.
Yeah. So here's a little look more at the number detail. You got the little, points and stuff there. So you got Falcons on the home jersey, Atlanta across the chest. So they had the big giant ATL across the chest here.
Yeah.
Which I think
smaller.
Awful.
Yeah.
But this is a lot better of a look.
Yeah. Not as big.
It's not as big, a lot cleaner. You notice a lot more teams. I saw somebody bring it up. A lot more teams going with the team name for their home uniforms and the city for when they're on the road.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So these are a lot more cleaner. The helmet doesn't change much. It doesn't change at all. It stays the same. It's still that flat black matte look. I think it's nice. It looks really good compared to the previous uniforms, I should say. So Tennessee's or Atlanta's really quick. Did you see Tennessee's uniforms?
I'm always partial Tennessee, their uniforms are all right, right? Literally from the moment I played Madden 2004 and just played as Michael Vick every single game, like I've always been partial to like the Falcons uniforms.
Yeah, they're
so if I was to choose between the two, like the Falcons, they just have better looking uniforms. It's realistically, and it's the colors, right? Like the red, the black, the white. Then you got the throwback jersey from from back when, it's just the red, the black, the white. The way that it mixes together, and the way the jerseys just line up. Yeah, the colors are nice. It just Falcons jerseys, I think hands down. If you pick Tennessee, I think there might be something wrong with you.
Yeah,
no, I ain't gonna lie.
I'd agree. I like that Tennessee made the change from what they had to what they have now, but I like Atlanta so much more. They're such a cleaner look.
They are that red, black, and white. The way they all runs together.
Yeah, God. Maybe that's probably because the team we played with in high school was red, black, and white. So maybe a little discrepancy there.
True.
Yeah. So, maybe not though. You can talk draft. You can talk draft for a minute. This is the latest mock draft. It's from Nick Shook. So let me pull it up here.
Nick
Shook. So he has.
Okay, I mean, obviously that's
the Raiders are number 1. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback. I don't see why this isn't the case. I don't see.
No, he's getting drafted one. There is no other person that could take this spot. Not a singular person.
Mm-mm. I don't know why they wouldn't.
If they don't, it literally might be the biggest flop in a draft I've ever seen in my life.
Do you think they would? Okay.
No, you can't even trade now. You
will
lose your job.
Knew what I was going to say.
You will get fired if you trade for draft picks.
You trade for a quarterback, though.
You haven't had for it. Better be freaking Patrick Mahomes.
That's true.
And it better be somebody that's gonna throw 30 touchdowns and throw for 4,000 yards, because the hype behind this kid is insane. And
we know that's not going to happen. They're not going to trade Mahomes.
No. And if you the thing with first round draft picks is if you don't know what they're going to turn into, but the hype builds behind them. So if you freaking flop and you sell the dude out to get draft picks, and then he comes in and the dude throws for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, you lost your job. You're gone. You're out of there. You're never working in the NFL again, right? Yeah. So I think it's always a safer bet. You just draft who you need with the number 1 pick. You take him, especially with all the hype. And if he doesn't pan out, they didn't really expect you to take anybody different. So you don't really lose anything.
Right.
You've been terrible. Sorry, Jordan, but you guys have been ass for like the last 5 years, right?
Garbage. Not even like a floating dumpster.
Yeah, it was like you guys are pretty equivalent with the Bears. Like we're pretty bad.
Well, even the Bears had a little bit. They made the playoffs in the last up to outside of this year,
Yeah. So you got. This you're riding on hopes and dreams. Like this guy is it. So no one else can take it. You don't trade it down. You don't do anything. You just draft the dude. You draft him, for the love of God.
They got David. He's got David Bailey going to the New York Jets. He's a edge rusher at Texas Tech. Which, if you saw the two edge rushers for Texas Tech during the college football playoffs, both of those dudes are monsters.
Yeah,
they're really good. And this could be something of a who am I thinking of? Plays for Cleveland. Why am I blanking on his name? Myles Garrett type of guy. Player wise, you could see things though. He has Jeremiah Love going number 3.
Yeah, this guy's gonna go top 5. He's not gonna go anywhere else.
To the Arizona Cardinals, though. Are you surprised that they would go this route? Or you think they would? I don't know what other quarterback.
No,
there's no other quarterback at this point of the game.
They literally, a quarterback wouldn't be bad. They must have a lot of trust in Jacoby Brissett. I think that's all they have. I mean, I think the next best quarterback in the draft, I would say, is Ty Simpson. He had a really good pro day. That kid.
Yeah. But I feel like you could probably pick him up later.
I don't know. It kind of does surprise me, but it doesn't because they need a quarterback. But at the same time, like I see what they're doing. Like, how are you going to pass up a talent like this? Like
That's
this
true.
kid, this kid is insane, right? It'd almost be like passing up like Mendoza. Like all the hype behind the kid, you see what he can do.
Yeah.
Like what's worse, right? Not drafting him, and then he is the superstar that you think he is, or drafting him and he turns into a bust. I think not drafting him is the worst play. So they really don't have anybody. I mean, James Conner or whatever, and Algier, Tyler Algier, he's all right. James Conner's pretty injury prone. Yep. Still solid, but super injury prone. I mean, he's been hurt like 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row now. So I think Jeremiah Love is, I mean, at this point you got to. So
yeah. What do we got here? Arvell Reese going to the Tennessee Titans at number 4. Another pretty solid edge rusher, defense or linebacker.
Ohio State
as well from Ohio State.
That's right.
Another Ohio State guy, Sonny Styles, linebacker to the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Sonny Styles is pretty good.
They already added Tremaine Edwards.
Oh, what is that? Is that Carnell Tate, another Ohio State guy? 3 in a row.
Ohio State.
The hype behind him is real, dude. I'm telling you, this guy is like, some people don't see it because people hate Ohio State, but I'm telling you, as an Ohio State fan, like this dude has every chance to be like a generational talent. Like this guy's speed and just route running and hands and everything. Like if this kid plays out, this kid is going to be so good, it's going to be ungodly. It sucks that he could get drafted for the Browns, but if Shedeur Sanders gets a full year and maybe he's actually pretty decent, I'm not saying he can't be.
Hey.
I was big on Shedeur Sanders, so it's a good pick for them. They need some help at the wide receiver position.
They need help on offense.
They need help anywhere. Just anywhere you can put somebody, they need help.
That's true. They just need help somewhere, anywhere. Do you think I could see them trade if the possibility pulled up because the AJ Brown once out of Philly rumor thing's been rolling, and the only place I don't see Cleveland pulling a trigger for AJ Brown and possibly trading this pick for AJ Brown, but as I think New England's going to be the place where he ends up, my opinion. But I don't think they'll trade away this pick.
No, I just I mean, it'd be nice to have AJ Brown, but he's every team that he's been on, there's been problems. He's such a drama queen. And he just cries about everything and complains about everything. And then he asks for the ball. And in the playoff game, they throw him the ball and he drops it 7 times in a row. Like, I think that you're going with a guy who's going to have a longer career, obviously as of right now. And I think Cardinal Tate's just a better option.
All right. There's a couple of teams, 2 first-round picks. You got the Jets with 2 second and 16. Browns do have a pick later on too. So if they wanted to go get another quarterback, they could. Just to keep throwing it into the thing. Guess what? Another Ohio State guy.
Caleb Downs. That's Caleb right. Downs. I'm so surprised he's actually not up higher.
I'm surprised too. Yeah.
Because this kid's a freak of nature. If you ever watched him in a football game, this kid is a freak.
Yep. But, I thought he'd be more high, more like the second, third round or second pick, pick overall. Not 7, but hey. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Hey, Washington's a good spot for him. So Dan Quinn, very, very defensive-minded guy. So that's a good place for him.
Yeah, it would be. Reuben Bain Jr. We'll just go top 10, and we'll kill it for the day. Reuben Bain Jr. Really solid defensive edge guy. Cameron Jordan is no longer there. I don't know where he signed. I don't know if he's signed anywhere yet or not.
I don't know.
I thought he signed Kansas City. Or was I just seeing something? Maybe he did not sign in Kansas City, but I thought he signed in Kansas City. I could be completely wrong. I don't think he's signed anywhere yet. No, he has not. He's not yet. He's still a free agent. as well. So yeah, this would be basically just a replacement for Cameron Jordan, a younger replacement for Cameron Jordan. Kansas City Chiefs picking up a cornerback. They traded both of their guys. Well, they traded one guy, and Trent McDuffie to the Rams, and then Jalen Watson left in free agency.
You trade Trent McDuffie, you trade away one, you got to go get one. You know what I'm saying? You trade away one, you got to get one.
Yeah, you might as well get somebody who you can early on and who's a solid guy. Last but not least, you got Jamal McCoy out of Tennessee, cornerback for the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll see where that goes. Clearly, I mean, they need a lot defensively because even last year their defense wasn't that great.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they do not go like offensive tackle or something here.
Yeah, I can see that too.
I understand your defense is not good, right? But I think at this point, like your main thing is like you got to protect Joe Burrow. Like the dude's gonna retire if you don't do something.
Yes, so, you're gonna be out.
And then you're gonna be terrible all over again.
Yeah, if that's the case, if he retires, Jamar Chase is the next dude out the door.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys remember what life was like before Joe Burrow? You guys were freaking horrendous.
Yeah, it was bad. It's not good.
It was not good.
It's not good.
Right. So, Joe, I would definitely reconsider that because drafting. I mean, I understand you need some defensive pieces, but if you lose Joe Burrow, dude, I mean that defensive piece ain't really going to help you.
Is there anybody in the top 10 who you think trades out of the top 10? I think Tennessee could. I think Tennessee would do that.
I could
For
also
the right pieces. I think they would do that.
I think the Bengals could also, if they feel like if they see that no one's gonna go like offensive tackle or something, and maybe trade away the 10th spot to gain like 2 more, and then you can nab two more guys like in the first round or whatever, or nab like an early second round pick if you're trying to get like 2 quick offensive tackles back to back or something. Yeah. Maybe Tennessee probably could. I could even see the Cardinals doing it. I mean,
I could, yeah.
Jeremiah Love, I mean, the talent's there. You should probably draft him, but at the same time, like James Conner's been really good for you. I understand he's been injury prone. Yeah. The dude's still getting like over 1,000 yards a year. He's still getting 10 touchdowns a year,
and he's only playing 9, 10 games, 11 games.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, hey, we can get this guy like later on. Let's trade up for like a later first round pick, then like 3 more picks or whatever, and then then they can get their Ty Simpson or whoever they're going to get, whatever.
I mean, I'd imagine they're going to draft. They have to draft a quarterback. I don't know how you skip out it unless you're going to wait till next year and just be like, hey, we're not going to have a good year this coming season. We'll shoot for the number 1 pick again, and hope for the best. I mean, clearly it hasn't worked out for they haven't had a good the Arizona Cardinals at least draft pick in a while, because if you look, I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. has not been the guy that I think everybody thought he was going to be.
Well, I think
he hasn't had the greatest quarterback.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's been injured. He's been hurt, and then obviously Kyler Murray's been really hurt. Basically the whole year while he's been there. So I feel bad for him because I feel like this year is kind of like a prove it year. Like you got to do something, and like they have Jacoby Brissett.
You have Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback.
I mean, like you said, unless you're gonna go out and get somebody, nab somebody.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I wouldn't even touch that with a 10-foot freaking pole. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure who you'd go get. You know what I'm saying?
I don't either at this point. Not free agency wise. Kirk Cousins was the best bet.
I mean, realistically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, for Arizona, I don't know who you. It's not pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't even think of who's left, who's out there still that could.
You could go get Russell Wilson.
You could get Russell Wilson. I mean, it can't be any worse than Jacoby Brissett. Mac Jones, you could go get Mac Jones.
You could go get Daniel Jones. They put a transition tag on him. which means he's allowed to talk to other teams. But the stipulation, I believe what that is before he signs, right? The Colts get a chance to match that offer before he signs with anybody.
Yeah.
You could go get Danny Dimes.
Look, if I'm Arizona, I'm snagging Mac Jones from the 49ers if I can. The dude played really, really well when Brock Purdy was out.
But he was also super horrible with the Patriots as a starter.
Well, that's the Patriots, and the Patriots weren't very good when he was there.
Neither is Arizona.
Hey, you're right.
Neither is Arizona. I mean, listen, in my eyes.
No, okay. Well, I think Arizona's a little bit better than New England was when Mac Jones was there, because when your leading receiver is a tight end in Hunter Henry.
You're not wrong. I mean, I think anyone's better than Jacoby Brissett at this point.
Yeah,
not saying Jacoby Brissett can't win you games. The dude's proven he can win games.
Yeah, he can win 8 games for you.
He's just not. I just don't think he's a full 17-game starting quarterback.
No.
So, I mean, Daniel Jones out there was a transition tag. You could go for Russell Wilson. You could go look at Mac Jones, whatever. I mean, they should have really went after, like Malik Willis or somebody.
Something. But
yeah,
it could be a long season for Arizona Cardinals fans.
Almost, yeah. That's like a Bears-esque season you guys are about to have.
Yeah. That's almost St. Louis Rams style season.
It's bad.
Early Detroit Lions mid 2000 season when they're like 1-15, 0-16, 2-14.
You could possibly maybe approach Jimmy G. Backup for the Rams right now, right?
I don't know if Jimmy G would want to do something like that at this point of his career. He might.
He probably doesn't want to.
He probably doesn't want to. He's like, nope, don't call me. Blocked.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm just gonna go. Hey, this is Arizona Cardinals. Nope. Nope. I think Mac Jones would be a better option. Not saying Jacoby Brissett couldn't do it, because he's done it before with New England, where he's played pretty well before with teams like the Arizona Cardinals, where they're like, whoa, who's on this team? And next thing you know, they're 5-1, and we're like, okay.
Where did this come from? I mean, he was playing pretty good last year, so
yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a threat anywhere this year. Could be wrong, though. Could be really wrong.
Yeah, they're not going to be a threat. I think you're right.
No. I don't have anything else. That was all the topics I was going to talk about today. That's all I got. I'm not very good at ending shows sometimes, so we're just going to let it go. Let it be. But Stephon Gilmore did retire today, too. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did retire.
Probably.
Retire. Probably a good thing, yeah. Just in New England? Was he still in New England?
I don't know. I'm not really sure where he was, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Not that big of a deal. I know he was in New England for a while. Let me see if I can find it. Whoa. I think so. 2-time All-Pro, 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. Stephon Gilmore retires from the NFL today as well. So all kinds of stuff that we talked about on this latest episode of Talking the Gridiron. We'll try to be back next week, some point, one of the days. Rather, it's Wednesday or Thursday next week. We'll be here. Make sure you catch the 7th inning stretch tonight as well. Starts at 8 o'clock right here on Variety Sports Network. My name's Brandon. On that side of the screen is Dylan. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Let us know if you got any topics for us to talk about. Put them in the comments below. See you later.